Cup of coffee in the big time.
All right. Let's get some people up in here. Let's see what we could do. What's up, everybody? Let's see if we get some people up in here. We're going to, I'm raw dogging it tonight because I have no password for StreamYard, no nothing for StreamYard, so here I am, rock you like a hurricane. I guess I'm just gonna do the show live like this for now until I get what I need. So we got a couple people in here so far. Hope everybody's having a great hump day. I know I am. Ooh, I feel like we got a handsome guitarist on this feed right now, on this live feed, and I feel like we got the rock, but not that rock, not the rock that everybody's mad at. It's a different rock, rock and roll, rock and roll high school. Let's see, raw dog. That's right. Yeah, we're raw dogging it right now. So just waiting for a couple more people to get in on this, so we can start talking some wrestling. What's going on, guys? Hopefully nobody gets beat up during this live stream right now. Hopefully nobody gets attacked with a parking cone, so that's also a very good start. I know at some point in the immediate future we're going to have an episode completely dedicated to the legendary career of Mark Terry. I hear that there's even a band that wrote a song about him, so that's pretty cool if you ever want to check that out. Fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. So yeah, Mark Terry, I mean, you know, if you know anything about wrestling, you know about Mark Terry. Okay, Mark Terry actually once wrestled in Yemen. He was the first man to wrestle in Yemen. He pinned a bald eagle, like a legitimate bald eagle. Ended up almost turning shoot because the eagle started pecking at him, not a beagle. Would be good if it was a beagle, but then the beagle would have to have a beak. So, you know, Mark Terry, great guy. I feel bad for him now, though. Looking like he might be having some prison visits, so that'll be interesting to see. But certainly worth a Google for you viewers out there. Check out Mark Terry. You know, I'm not a religious man, but if there was a God on the 8th day, God would have created Mark Terry. Here's what's happening on my wall. Oh, yeah. What do I got over there? Can I zoom in with this fucker? Oh, yeah. Alright. Look at that Sweet Faith No More poster. Signed by the band, too. Ooh la la. Alright. What's that? We got the Golden Mason up in here. Day 7, rested. Day 8, Mark Terry. Yeah. Mark Terry was actually the original Ninth Wonder of the World. And then he bestowed that name on the late, great Joni Lore. So, you know, another wrestling fact I'm giving you here tonight, courtesy of my friends at Stella Artois.
It's like looking through a dirty glass, Daddy.
Come on, there's no fucking shithead wrestling fans on here that want to complain? Where are you filthy marks? Something? Do I gotta tell people Uribe's on the show? I'm over here looking like a shit Fred Durst with this red hat on backwards. What's going on here? Day 9, arrested. Yes. What a development that was. Ha ha. Jeez Louise. So my co-host is not here. I think he's doing something with Alzheimer's. I forgot. And that was not a pun. That was not intended to be a pun. Very sad thing, Alzheimer's. But he's unable. He's unable to be here. I'm congested. God damn it! Come on. What's a crack, Rocky? Tell us a story or something, huh? Tell us a story. Anybody want to hop on this thing? Let's see. Let's see if we can get the Golden Mason up in here. Hold on. I don't even know how to do that. Can we do this? Let's see. I sent them the invite. Let's see. I'll send the Rock an invite as well. There he is.
What's up, baby?
There she is. Wow. What a threesome we got going on here, huh?
Yo, geez.
What, why are we doing a podcast with a curtain? What is this?
I don't know.
You look really, you look really scrumdiddlyumptious tonight.
I've heard this.
Ooh la la.
Don't let anybody hear that. That's just us.
Look at that. Now
I gotta find the right filter, bro. I'm like fucking late bound and shit. Nah, but you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that we should definitely start a podcast in which we really fucking dig into the local fucking music scene and just talk shit about our opinions. You know what I'm saying? People would fucking hate us.
Well, I mean, the child actors are busy right now. You know, we're working on our fourth, fifth, and sixth album, but we still have to finish our first one. So we got a lot of stuff coming up right now.
Yeah, first one actually looks like it's going to be getting expedited pretty soon.
It does. It does. Oh wow, we got some more viewers up in here. Who we got? What's going on, guys? Welcome.
You have no fucking viewers. It's just me and Jason.
No. There's more people.
I think
got
Kevin
some people.
Martin.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin and CJN. Thank you for tuning in. I'm only on here because these guys didn't give me a StreamYard login, so, you know, I'm raw dogging it tonight, you know. But thanks for joining us, guys. I mean, it's a hell of a time. Jason, I know you're familiar with the legend of Mark Terry.
We go way back. Myself and the legend of Mark. We go way back.
Would you consider him an American legend or a global legend?
I mean, he's a universal champion. I'll grant him that. Some might say I am even a product of his. He may say this more than anyone else.
That sounds like fibbing.
Rumor has it he's my dad.
No, I met your dad.
Hell of a
I met your
mustache.
dad. Yeah. He really likes lollipops.
I've got my actual dad who's like 6'5" with a sweet mustache, and then I've got my actual dad who's got crabs, and then
he's 5'6", not 6'5".
Yeah, he's the living acronym.
Yeah.
And then
Rachel.
I have a lot of self-proclaimed dads.
Yo, Biff. Yo, did we wave to Biff?
What?
Yo, I showed Biff my new bass today. Kevin.
Biff.
From I always call him Biff, but Kevin from
Biff Tannen?
No, Kevin from Scarlet King.
Oh.
I showed him my bass. I just got a bass.
You got a bass.
Do we get to hear the bass?
I'm taking lessons, and once I take a few lessons, then you can hear the bass.
No, don't take lessons. You're gonna ruin your natural style if you take lessons.
Somebody else.
I have no idea. Like I kind of like watching videos and stuff, kind of trying to learn about the instrument itself. But still, I think that like I can benefit from sitting with somebody in front of me, especially having like fucking ADHD and not being able to like really focus.
Probably. Yeah, it's also a real good excuse to not play it, which, I mean,
Shout out, Kevin.
but it is. That's what it is. When I first started playing guitar, I was fucking obsessed. I didn't have one. My neighbor got one, and very literally, his aunt just showed up and like dropped off a bass, a drum set, a guitar. She was like, "I don't need this crap anymore, so you guys have it." And I was like, naturally, none of us have ever played any of these instruments, but clearly we're a band now. And then started just plucking away at strings. I used to take my fishing pole and I would tighten the string on the fishing pole as tight as I could get it, and then I would
fucking die.
would pluck that string and then just move my finger around on like the rod, and that helped me figure out like, okay, if I move closer to the reel, then the notes get higher. Like, okay, I kind of get it. And then 25 years later, I'm still working on it.
That just sounds very Tom Sawyer-ish.
You gotta love it.
Not rough Tom Sawyer, but like.
But you know what though? That's a testament to like ingenuity and wanting to do something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted to play guitar and he figured out his own way to fucking do it.
Yeah, I lived in the woods. I didn't even know stores sold guitars. I thought it was something you had to have like fashioned by a troll somewhere. I didn't realize it was like a thing. I was like, boy, every time I go over that bridge, I'm trying to bump into that troll. And it fucking... Eventually, one day, I moved into Secaucus, and then there was a guitar center nearby, and I was like, there's a place that sells these shits? And then that was it. The obsession was fucking off to the races.
Nice. Shout out to Kevin, by the way, and shout out to Scarlet King, some of the baddest hombres out there.
Shout out to J&J Market.
J&J Market?
Clifton's finest bodega. Two fantastic initials.
Jason's holding the block down.
Damn, Jay, you're getting your street cred up in the mean streets of Clifton.
You know. The missus, ironically, used to have a hair salon, like, right at the other end of this block. So literally, pre-me knowing her, she's down there cutting hair. I'm a block away doing whatever previous bullshit I would be up to.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple years, and she's like, wow, we were basically neighbors. How weird is that? I'm like, pretty fucking weird. Legend has it, Mark Terry set us up.
That's a rumor, though. That's a really little known rumor. I saw that actually in Reddit. It was like in some kind of chat in Reddit. Quick question for you, Jay. Here, over under
on Reddit.
What's that?
It was in the homeless cats forum on Reddit.
Why am I leaning into my phone like I'm trying to hear with my ear when I have fucking headphones on? I'm like, ha!
What?
Jay, so I know that you're familiar with Mamax Studios. There's a building manager over there. How do you think Alvin would have fared as a professional wrestler?
I mean, he'd give Ron Truth a fucking run for his money, I'd say.
Yeah.
He could have been the second most popular member of the Judgment Day for sure.
Oh, wow.
I'll grant him that much. He could have been 24th at the 2024 Royal Rumble, women's and men's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a thing he could have achieved. He's a legend in his own right, that critter.
Do you think like he would have like gone out at the women's Royal Rumble and like smoked a cigarette and like in his tights and just like bit his lips at ringside?
Yes. He would have flirted with the first gal that came in for the clothesline, and then when he realized that his passes were not well received, he would have then talked about how he never would have done any of the things that he had previously been thinking about for 30 cents. Specifically for 30 cents. And he would do many 70s jive hand movements in the process. I wouldn't. Man.
You know.
I would.
No.
Jason. Are your eyes blue?
No. My eyes are green.
Oh.
Sometimes.
Green. Whoa.
Close up for the ladies.
Damn! Stop, Jason. You're taken.
They actually wanted Jason to play in the Lost Boys sequel that they were putting together. They wanted him to be Michael's son. You know, he could have been Jason Patrick's son.
Yeah.
You know, which is a combination of two great names in my opinion. Solid names.
Hey, Jason Patrick was hot as fuck. What?
I've heard this about myself, oddly enough, many times.
You kind of look like him a bit.
Yes, I've been, from the time I've been 12, 13, till literally a week ago, well, just now, really. I hear often, somebody went to a Lost Boys reunion and literally sent me a thing where they were like, yo, I'm with your doppelganger. I'm like, I don't understand where this is going. They're like, give me a minute. And then they send a photo from the Lost Boys reunion. And I'm like, I see. I'm like, this is never going to get old.
Jason, have you ever told your little sister to cry because you look like Jason Patrick? Would that be something that you could do?
I only request in the form of song.
Gotcha. Not actual crying.
Yes. Yeah, it's not something that I like ask politely or in passing. It's usually in a soulful moment of 80s tune.
Wow.
It usually doesn't go over well because she's a little younger, so she's like, "What are you talking about?" It's usually how that ends.
I'm breaking the stories that nobody's breaking here. Wow, look at you. Are those red? What? Oh, we got a John Stain sighting over here too. Shout out to Staino Mac.
The legend of Johnny Stainos. He had a couple of gals fighting over him at a bar the other day.
Of course.
I may have phrased this a little bit misleadingly, but nonetheless, the story remains true. A couple 2-tree gals fighting over my boy Johnny. That's my bodyguard for anybody in here who's thinking about getting weird.
John Stamos, you know, Staino Mac.
My Uncle Jesse.
Rocky, you looking like Sally Jesse Raphael over there with them glasses. I like it.
Yeah.
Not Sally Jesse Raphael.
I like it.
I'm going for the more conservative look.
I was gonna guess the word conservative, and I was like, that's not a popular word these days. That won't be the choice.
I'm too old to keep.
So you're trying to look like what? Lauren Boebert? Is that what you're trying to look like?
No.
You're trying to do the Lauren Boebert? Yeah. Definitely not the Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, I used to always get Janine Garofalo.
Janine Garofalo. Okay.
Oh, I can see that.
I got a little bit of Janine. I also got Alicia Cuthbert, the girl next door.
Huh.
No, the girl next door is Dominican.
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about?
You don't know Alicia Cuthbert?
I feel like if you say her name 3 times fast, you can curse at her.
Then you'll know who I'm talking about, right? So anyway, it's a film called The Girl Next Door. But she has blonde hair. She's fair. Like, she's not like me. Like, I'm fair. She's fair, but she's Caucasus Mountains.
Is that the one where the chick shows up and she's got glasses and everyone's like, nerd, and then she takes the glasses off and everyone's like, whoa.
No, this is about the chick that moved next door to this kid who wasn't popular in school or whatever, and like they started to kind of like hook up and stuff, and she was like, he needed money for something, and she was like, let's make a porn, and he was like, are you kidding me? He was like, no, like, get your friends, let's make a porn. And they made a porn on prom night with like kids.
Oh yeah. This is with Seth Rogen. I remember this one. Seth Rogen, and then what's her face, and then that porn chick was in it.
No. I think that's Zach and Miri made a porno. Yeah. This is another one.
But this story was getting way more fun if we started talking about that movie.
There was another.
That movie was good. I like that, but I don't remember the movie you're talking about, Rock. When did this come out?
The Girl Next Door came out like in 2000. I would say 2005.
Wait, I gotta bow out and put a kid in the back seat. I'm gonna shoot you a message In like 5, I'll jump back in.
Rock and roll, man. Fuck yeah. Come on back, man. We're working the marks here tonight, so let's go.
I like it.
All right.
More,
All right, man.
more work
Peace out, brother.
to be done shortly. I'll be back.
Heck yes.
Oh God. No. All right, now you're getting annoyed. Goodbye.
Rock and roll. What's the crack?
Yeah. So the girl next door is she's hot, that bitch. Not saying that I am, but I mean, like, she's. I would give her a little swinger on the block. I'd take her for a little fucking gobble.
So since this is like a wrestling page, I might as well just ask you about stuff. So did you ever watch pro wrestling at all at any point in time in your life?
That's a good question. Honestly, yeah. So I was always in passing, like I would see like my father kind of like put it on and stuff and like watch it for a bit. And I mean, I was born in 85, so I lived through the 90s, and the early 90s, I feel there was like a huge emphasis on like wrestling and like Slim Jims and Macho Man. I feel like the 90s was like huge for wrestling.
Yeah.
So like at night, I know my dad used to watch Sinbad. I think that was his name, and it was extreme wrestling. You know, so like it was really late at night, and they would hit each other with chairs and like bleed.
You talk about ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. Do you think that's what it was? Do you remember like the name at all, or
after midnight?
Yeah.
And I know because
yeah. So it was probably ECW.
That's he used to watch that, and I used to be like, "What the fuck?" And there was like this really, really hot wrestler, and I think that was his name, Sinbad. And
Sinbad or
like,
Sabu?
No, he had like long hair. I guess he was like trying to look like Arabian or whatever.
Yes, Sabu, and he had scars all over his body and shit, and he would point up like that and shit.
I just know that he was very attractive, and that there was blood, and there was stairs, and I think there was ladders. So,
yeah.
all in all, that was my experience. I mean, early on in life, I took a liking to The Undertaker, like when I would see him in passing. That's how I knew, like, I was a gothy girl, you know, like I liked dark stuff, because as a kid, it like intrigued me, like his look. And then I remember Halloween when I was like, I must have been like, maybe like 9. We lived in a high rise over there at the Lenox, Union City. And people would always come and trick or treat. So on Halloween, my kid came with his father to our door. My dad opened the door to give them fucking candy. And the dad was fucking full on Undertaker at my fucking door, like 6'5", like in like platforms. Plus the dude was tall, insane. And me as this little girl, they're standing next to my dad, kind of like enamored, but at the same time like freak the fuck out. And then I was like, damn, I really fucking love this character, you know, and I still do. I mean, I plan to dress like the Undertaker. I would love to do it this Halloween. But like, there's things that I would have to get for it, right? Like the chest piece, like the prosthetic chest and stuff like that. Because honestly, I'm not gonna be like the whole version. No, I want to be the drag version of that actual character, which is something that you know that I do often. I like male characters for Halloween. But yeah, I think it would be fucking super dope. So that's
pretty awesome.
I mean, I saw what's her name? China. Born. I don't know if that.
Okay. I think everybody did. I think you know, back.
I thought she was a very beautiful woman, and I have a lot of respect for her, and I think she was badass. And I've always had a thing for what's his name, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Both of them, I always thought that they were really, really good looking, and I think that sums up my experience with wrestling.
Nice. So you never been to a live show or anything like that, like whether it's independent, WWE, or anything like that?
I mean,
Gotcha.
I just think the energy would be really cool, and not only that, like bullshit. No, I went to an independent boxing thing in like Brooklyn.
Boxing or wrestling?
Sorry, yeah, wrestling. So,
yeah. Okay.
There was a few dope wrestlers there that I was really intrigued by. I never posted the footage. I was gonna post it on this page. I maybe will, you know, like at some point post, but
it was really fucking cool, and I was like into it, and everybody was like I went with someone who is also a big wrestling fan. So they were like, "You suck!" Like doing all these things, like saying all these things that everybody's saying the same shit, and I'm like, how do people know? Like, how do people know like these?
Oh.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do people?
No.
How do people know?
Well.
And they told me, "Oh, that's a normal thing." Like my friend was like, "That's a normal thing in wrestling. Everybody knows those sayings," and I was like, "Oh."
Well, it depends. You know, it's like certain chants.
Correct.
I think for certain wrestlers are a thing, right? And obviously, when you go to independent shows, it's people that are kind of like a following, so they go there. But you know, you're always going to get the "you suck" chants, the "this is awesome" chants, the woos for the chops, the whats if somebody's promo fucking sucks. You know, like there's a ton of different ways I think that pro wrestling fans interact with the talent. That's pretty unique to pro wrestling. Obviously, we got Jay back in here. Jay looks like a wrestling character right now. He looks like he's in a wrestling vignette. He's about to go like drive to some dude's house and beat the shit out of him.
I think I hit a filter. I'm not entirely sure. I was trying to figure out how to put a flash or something so I'm a visible human. But now I kind of feel like I'm a shadow in a disco, so I don't know what it looks like in front of or behind me, but it feels like I got fun lights going on in the back. Good time.
It looks interesting, I'll tell you that much, and it actually looks like you.
I'd like to chime in very quickly.
Sure.
In my absence, I heard a statement made about what I thought was Shawn Michaels, but it sounded more like a shoe-on, which I feel like if I were to spell it, I feel like it would be like a S-H-Y-U-E-N, like a G-W in there.
I said, Shawn Michaels. Look, let me tell you something, okay? New Jersey. I mean, don't we all have the same accent?
From Israel, New Jersey?
Israel, New Jersey.
No. I know what you mean. Yeah, no. That's not me. But
I'm told I have an accent specifically when I say the word bagel. I don't know.
Bagel?
Yes. Like if I said, let me get a bagel with cream cheese, people are like, how do you say that? And I'm like, bagel. And they're like, yeah, you have an accent. And I'm like, that's the word?
hey, you're right.
Of all
Bagel.
things I could say, bagel is the one that, oddly enough though, if I go to another state, immediately people just start calling me Jersey. I'm like, I didn't think I had it like that, but I guess you just don't know.
People call you Jersey.
Yes.
That's wild.
Jersey
It's the well, you know what it is? It's the accent. I think it's that, just the way we talk, the fact that like we're trying to get shit done. Like we're not trying to fucking like stew forever. Like we're trying to fucking do shit.
Yeah, I came to the conclusion after this started I went to South Carolina and then Florida when I was like 23 or some shit. So I just took like quite the road trip. I took like 3 weeks off work and I'm like, I'm gonna go enjoy things for a little while. And then through that process I was like, oh, I guess I'm clearly from New Jersey. Then I became much more familiar with Joey Diaz, and I was like, I get it now. It's not so much the accent. Like, it's a little bit the accent, but it's also phrases like, your mom, or like a fuck your mother type of, that kind of a thing. So, yeah, upon realizing that most other places people are semi-polite, seemingly, I feel like that's usually more the tell. Like if I show up somewhere, scratch my nuts, spit on the ground, and then tell someone something about their mom, then they're like, Jersey. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I guess that's right.
Yeah, then there's the always infamous phrase, get the fuck out of here. You know? Get the fuck out of here. Anytime you say, get the fuck out of here, you know?
From the within, like you have to mean that shit. Like right now, candidly, you can't say get the fuck out of here and sound like you normally.
This is actually what the phrase got means. It's from within. If I say it comes from un guts, so un is in, guts is fucking guts. It's in guts. It comes from within.
He says
Fucking un guts. Capiche?
Go be.
you said
¿Qué pasó?
Singao.
we use that. The Cubans use that singao. Oye, singao.
That shit sounds like a threat to a dog. Like
No, singao is like
if you wanted to tell a dog that it might be eaten, that's how I feel like you would announce it.
It's like saying fucker, you know?
that was like you fuck. Oye,
Yeah, like you fucker,
you're a major fucker.
you know? Yeah. It's pretty,
We also
interesting word.
say no resingues.
Yeah.
Resingue,
Yes.
like don't refuck.
Don't refuck. Yes.
Resingue. Is fuck.
But what about
like
Singao?
don't be a fucker.
Yeah, don't be. Yeah, but that's like don't be a refucker.
Don't be a
You know, porque.
Yeah. I like
I don't know, man. But,
Uh-oh. Love's in the air.
I'm
We got Valentine's Day coming soon.
Aw, do you guys have Valentine?
Huh?
Do you guys have a Valentine?
I might. I think that was a wink I tried to do. I don't know. I feel like half my face is paralyzed. Maybe Coppinger might give me a mask, but that's a really dark inside joke.
my favorite things to go over like a fart in church.
Oh, we
Just way out there.
Mike! We got Mike in the chat now.
add
I don't know
mine.
how to unfilter this shit.
You can add 4.
Let's see. Oh no, but we can't invite him. He's chosen not to be invited.
Aw.
Oh,
Well, no, he's got a thing that doesn't allow me to, but that's all right. What's going on? We got Peter. Peter from Airseas Fragment. Shout out to Airseas Fragment on here.
Oh, Peter.
Peter, I
Bad hombres.
don't
Yeah.
Pay, I don't pay a lot of attention to the local bands. These like they're at least nearly as
Oh,
much as I should.
segment. Is this the segment where we talk shit about local bands?
I didn't hear what. Say it again. I didn't hear what you said.
That's a good segment. To talk shit about local bands.
Nah.
I don't do any jive talking on the locals if that's what I'm being accused of.
Rocky's being controversial.
Because we need to talk about something. It can't all be fucking sunshine flowers.
Uh-oh.
There we go. All right.
We got a run-in. We got a run-in right here.
It's high.
Oh shit! I mean,
We got a run-in. Oh no, he can't even hear it anyway. So
anyhow.
he's like half
so yeah,
awake. So
Mr.
Hello?
Peter Bread,
Hi.
shout out to
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I'm digging my hair, man. You look great.
we were talking about wrestling.
Nice.
So what do you think about what happened with Cody Rhodes and The Rock? What do you think? You think The Rock deserves the title shot or no?
No Secrets,
What do
Mark.
you think? Go ahead. You say it. What do you think's gonna happen? You think it's gonna be Rock and Roman to see who's the tribal chief?
Yes.
Nice.
I said so. Ready?
I acknowledge
Look
you.
at this, yo. What
I
an
acknowledge you.
episode. What's your favorite band? What's your favorite band, bro? Come on, man.
No pressure or nothing.
The child actors.
Yeah, smart kid. You get to eat tonight. Congratulations.
Do you have any advice for anybody? Anything about parking cones? Anything about parking cones? Would you try and hit somebody with a parking cone?
Yeah.
If you were fighting them?
Yep.
But you're also 9, so
I don't care.
I don't know if you're you're a good judge right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
fine.
what if you were 40?
40?
Yeah.
I
if you were 40.
definitely hit him.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
What if
Or
he hit
would you perhaps
first,
throw the parking cone and find another weapon?
Throw the parking cone and then find another weapon.
Nice. All right. Well, this is a school night. Thank you, Judah.
Let me say goodbye. Let me say goodbye.
Thanks for the cameo tonight here on Working the Marks.
Goodbye.
Deuces.
What's that? You're doing your work on
Yes.
on your phone?
Yep,
What
we're
are you
doing.
streaming on TikTok?
Nah, Instagram.
Are you two people?
Yeah, we're doing a.
combined though. We're Captain Planet, so it's no biggie.
All right. Oh well, I think we got somebody else joining us here again. Hold on one sec. Let's see. We got the Rock.
Oh, the Rock?
Well, no, not the actual Rock.
Oh, I'm
The other
the
Rock.
biggest fan though.
Yeah, no, not the other Rock.
Rocky Dan.
Which Rock? Which Rock?
Rocky Dennis.
Rocky Dennis.
Rocky Dennis?
Rock and roll.
Who's that?
All right, brother. Too sweet me, bro. Whee! Nice. Like I'm okay. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye, sweetie.
All right.
Word
Get to
has
bed. You got school, you little rascal.
word has it Rocky's reuniting with Jim Cornette.
Who?
You'll be my English died. Sorry.
Jim Cornette.
Ooh.
Jim Cornette.
The fuck is
Yeah.
Who do we got here? We got Mary Dingoes up in the chat. Yo, shout out to Dingo's Den and Dingbats. Another place that the child actors played at. Love that fucking place, man.
We'd like to make it back over there and then.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good place.
We
That's a
definitely
great
like to
venue.
get back out there again soon, man. So shout out to Dingbats, Dingo's Den, Mary Dingoes. Great fucking rock and roll establishment over there, man. Giving people a place to play. So fucking A, man.
I like the Crowbar played over there not that long ago. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Primitive Man too, man. Primitive Man opened up for them. Fucking, they got a lot of acts over there, man. I've seen Doyle there a bunch. I've seen a bunch of people there. Harley was over there. All them cats.
What's those Hoboken dudes? Attacker?
Attacker, yeah.
Oh my God, Attacker! I know Attacker. Mike Benetatos was my neighbor, and he was a good friend of my son's father. They actually worked together. I actually spoke to him a few weeks ago. The guitarist, you know, Mike Benetatos.
Mike, which one's the drummer? He's also Mike, right? Or Mike?
There's like 3 Mikes. There's Mike Sabatini.
That's the one.
Benetato.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the cat that records people, right?
I've personally viewed him as more of a like in the dog family, but
Saw you guys.
yeah, he did the Mama Luke album back in the 80s, and then came and saw us do a couple shows, a couple 1, 2, 3 shows here and there.
But he saw you guys at the Metal Spring Fling. He was there.
Yeah, I remember bumping into him briefly.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Silver Fox. It's hard to miss. He's one of the few guys that anytime I see him, I'm excited to see him. Most people on average, I'm just kind of like, I can take it or leave it.
Sometimes I'm excited to see you, and sometimes I could kind of do without it. And I'm sure you feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, I can be a lot.
No, I'm
like
joking.
odds are good.
Crazy.
Odds are good. If you bump into me, there's a 90% chance I'm gonna have at least one opinion you're not gonna be excited about.
No,
It's par for the course.
So Jay,
yeah.
Jay says since we're technically on a wrestling page here,
Mm-hmm.
what's your earliest memory of watching wrestling as a kid?
Yo, I remember having, so this may not be my earliest memory. It's just the first memory that comes to mind. The first memory that comes to memory. I'm arguing with my dad, and I want to say cousin, but I don't think I'm even related to this dude. But I'm Italian enough that friends that are like you see like often enough immediately are just your cousins. So he's like that kind of cousin. We're having an argument. He's like 2-3 years older than me. I'm like 5 probably. And I'm like, nah, yo, the Undertaker's dead. Like, for real. And they're like, hey, idiot. You understand he can't be dead, right? And I'm like, nah, you just don't get it. I'm like, you'll see. Yeah, I was enormous mark for the Ultimate Warrior as a kid. That was my dude.
Yeah, me too, man.
That dude. Me and my cousin, who actually also isn't my cousin. He's actually my uncle. But if you've ever seen the show Modern Family, it's kind of like that. You know how like, Your uncle's the same age, basically. That whole gimmick.
Manny, yo,
Yeah.
yo, that's an underrated sitcom, bro. I fucking love that show. Very clever.
His name's Travis.
Nice.
So my Manny, me and him used to get all the fucking wrestling videos on the weekends. So I'd go crash by his house in Clifton, and we'd go to the whatever local video toilet and just grab like WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 1, Super Brawl 86, like just whatever.
Nice.
Everything that we saw someone we could recognize at first. That was like whatever. Grab that WrestleMania Warrior versus Hogan, Super Brawl 86, like just whatever.
My bad.
What a goose.
I don't know. I just want to check my phone.
Makes sense. So I'm like, we were watching Hogan versus Warrior. That was one of my favorite matches for forever.
That was a good one.
I have like an on again, off again relationship with wrestling, much like certain relationships I've had over the years. I've had a couple two tree here and there kind of things. Wrestling's made the list, but I always keep an eye on it, like peripherally. Like if I'm not actively watching, then I'm like, all right, let me just keep tabs, see what's up, and but I would say during like the Warrior Hogan days, I was all in. Fast forward to, I fell off for a little while up until about we get to Yokozuna Undertaker casket match time frame. Like new generation era. I'm all in from that point until about, I don't know, once the Attitude Era kind of started to fizzle and TNA started picking up, then around that time, like once that kind of started dying down, I was back out again. Back in again a little bit for NXT when that really started taking off, like a little pre-Nakamura, like right around when KO was coming in, like just before KO popped off, and your Sasha Bankses and all these gals were getting ready to make the switch over.
Jay,
around that,
if I had to guess, just real quick here, if I had to guess, would it be safe to say that you're an AJ Styles fan?
Yes, very safe.
He's great fucking wrestler, man. One of the best, I think, of an era. You know,
he is definitely the only the thing that he's missing. That if he just didn't sound like a hillbilly, he'd be the show. Like when he speaks, he's like, "Well, now he's got that whole fucking rural thing going on," and he's like, "I mean, it might be flat. The Earth, it might be. I mean, I've never been there." You're like, "All right, guy, unfortunately, you're just not going to be able to be the greatest now because you said a couple things and you sounded that way saying them. So we can't help you. We tried." But as far as like the work, that dude is a fucking a diamond in a time period of fucking duds.
Yeah. I actually met AJ early on. And it's interesting, too, because you compared him to Shawn Michaels, right? And Shawn Michaels, he's from the South, too. He's from Texas. But you never heard Shawn Michaels sounding like a fucking hillbilly when he was cutting promos. You know? Yeah. You never heard him having any type of accent or anything like that.
And the other thing that's funny, though, right, is like Austin. Very, very rural-sounding dude. Redneck was part of the gimmick.
Yeah.
The difference is he spoke with like murderous fire, whereas AJ talks with a level of confidence, but it's just not the same. Like the promo's not the same. With Austin, we could literally laugh for days about Steve Austin reading an Italian menu. There's a couple more inside jokes for you, you marks out there.
Yeah.
And then, but like, no one's talking about AJ Styles reading Italian menus. That's not a thing.
No.
There is no what. There is no AJ 316. There's no like. There's none of that. It's just everything with him is the wrestling itself, which is great and to be appreciated. But you're not gonna be like you'll get your 5-star match from Uncle Dave, but you're not gonna get fucking that Shawn Michaels recognition.
Yeah, it's tough for him because when I first met him, this was like back in like 2003, and he had come up for, I want to say like the second JCW Jacob. No, it was the first JCW Jacob, and it was him, Brian Danielson, Christopher Daniels. No, did Daniels come out? I think he might have. I don't know. I don't recall, but Punk was there.
That time?
Huh?
Was he the fallen angel at that time, Mr. Daniels?
He was still the fallen angel. I don't think he was able to come out. CM Punk was there. That was where CM Punk fractured his skull. I was there for that, and me and my cousin fucking found him, and he ended up. We ended up helping him get an ambulance and shit. We got the promoter, and the promoter fucking got him an ambulance and got him out of there. So that was pretty crazy, man. But when I first met AJ Styles, he had come up here, and he was super fucking hillbilly, like the way he talked. And Danielson had come from the Pacific Northwest, but Danielson was like very proper. Like when he spoke English very well. So the whole thing between him and AJ was like when they met each other, like Danielson was just like, "How do you talk like that? Like people from your town talk like this?" And he's like, "Yeah, everybody sounds like this." And he's like, "Oh my God." Like, and he just like kept making fun of his accent. And then AJ told us he was a male cheerleader, and that's how he met his wife. And Danielson was like, "You were a male cheerleader?" He's like, "Of course you were." It was just hilarious though. But Danielson just roasted him the whole time, and it was fucking great. And AJ broke his balls back too, and it was really fucking cool. But I got lucky because I got to meet a lot of those guys. From being with JCW and stuff, and seeing them when they were coming up, man, and you just knew like those guys, like they had it in them. AJ was one of those guys for sure.
I remember watching them, not so much Danielson, but fucking the whole TNA crowd, like that entire X division at that time was like, it was really something to watch. When they had the 6-sided ring going, like just a little bit pre-Jarrett and the whole main event Mafia gimmick, like when they were there just getting after it and people were just doing wild things, that was a glorious time to be watching wrestling. And then, yeah, I think once Jarrett got in, now Angle was a tremendous addition. Him and Christian Cage, both tremendous additions to TNA. Mm-hmm. But once they started bringing in the Nashes and all these gentlemen, once they WCW'd it, it kind of, it's like they didn't know how to use those dudes to bring the younger dudes up. And it worked for like a Samoa Joe and an AJ Styles, but they just couldn't figure out how to get most of the other guys through that. So I don't know what, people drive like absolute fucking retards, son. So I don't know what the I mean, TNA's still around, so I guess that counts for something. Oh, Ziggler's over there now, right?
Yeah. I think that TNA, honestly, like they're what AEW should have strived to be. AEW fell apart, unfortunately, because there weren't really a lot of wrestling people doing what needed to be done there. Like, Tony Khan's booking all this stuff. Like, as a matchmaker, he's decent. He could put together stuff that's good for that audience. But you need wrestling people, and you need wrestling people to do the job. And Tony Khan, I don't think, was able to do it really well, and to at least to the level of a TNA. TNA, man, they drew 2 million people at one point. They were on Monday night against WWE. They were head to head, so you got to give them their due. Yeah,
and I mean, even right up until they were doing the Aces and Eights thing, where Bully Ray pulled the heel turn, like even all that was still good. Like, it seemed like the blow off was supposed to be him and Hogan, but I kind of figured they were never going to be able to pull that off because Homeboy ain't got no fucking hips anymore. But even all that, like AJ came back, did his own little variation of the Sting gimmick. Like that whole little routine, I was like, this is actually really good. I think Jeff Hardy was the champ. Bully Ray's heel turn was to take the belt off him. I'm like, they played this well. And then immediately just dropped the bottom out of it. I don't remember. I think the Dudleys went back to WWE like fucking 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, every time TNA put somebody in the Hall of Fame, it's like the WWE just hit them up right away. Like, all right, you made it. You want to come back? Like, yeah, fuck it. We'll come by.
Yeah, man. It's
Hall of Fame, WWE return announced immediately.
Oh yeah.
Dudley Boys, TNA Hall of Fame, WWE return immediately. Who else?
Of course.
There were 2 other ones.
I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Like, I don't even really know all that many people in TNA Hall of Fame. I know like Sting's there, the Dudleys. I think Jeff Jarrett. I think AJ.
Sting, they put him in the TNA Hall of Fame. He'd never been to WWE before, and then 2 weeks later, Sting goes to WWE. I'm like, damn, son, fucking cursed.
That was pretty surreal when it happened. It was such a bummer though, because like it took so long, you know.
No Undertaker thing was so stupid.
And the no Undertaker thing, they were both too old. And even if like Taker still could have done it, but he couldn't, you know, he had injuries and stuff. Like just the timing being off, everything else, and then Sting getting hurt. You know.
Come on.
I you know, I wasn't against it. I thought it was good because, you know, I'm like one of these.
Story. It's the Monday Night Wars. I get it. The right one.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair to want to see the Stinger get it. You know, I'm not mad at somebody who feels that way. You know.
But now it's a wrap now.
Yeah.
It's like you got to give it up, dude. I know being Darby, cool and everything, but like, come on, don't be the new.
Yeah. Well, he kind of became like New Jack a little bit, you know, if you think about it. Like he's jumping off of fucking balconies. You know, I mean, it'd be kind of cool if like his theme song played, or like, you know, Seek and Destroy played, or like, you know, whatever. Like while he was fucking out there, like whacking motherfuckers with gimmicks, like that'd be kind of cool at least. But
yeah,
I mean, I think Sting's done what Sting's wanted to do. Do I think the AEW's maximized Sting? No. I think they could have done more with him.
Anybody?
Yeah.
I think the
it's
very first thing AEW did was take Kenny Omega and put him on like a year-long losing streak. Like, they've managed to fuck up everything, seemingly. Like, I don't watch it all that closely, but when you watch the highlights, you're like, oh, man, they're putting on a pretty good show. And then you watch Botchamania, and you're like, damn, they're putting on a terrible show. And then you listen to anybody talk about if the show was even cohesive. The biggest dud probably in the history of pro wrestling in the even semi-near future, aside from the literal deuce Vince McMahon dropped on that poor girl. With the exception of that, the shit in wrestling history was that exploding ring match they had a couple weeks back.
Oh my god. Oh man, remember that? With fucking Moxley and fucking Omega, and then Eddie Kingston comes out to save him, and that was...
Covers him like the ring's gonna blow, and then the sparklers go off and he sells it.
Man, that was
up and done some kind of is that all you got, or like you sold it, you fucking sold sparklers, dude.
Yeah,
hurt my feelings. I think you're better than that.
Well, I mean, Jay, I think this is where you as a musician would appreciate this. This is where rehearsal comes into play. This is where practice comes into play. Yeah. This is where learning how to do these things comes into play. You know, you can't have an explosion on pay-per-view and not try it beforehand, right?
Yeah, I did like that after the fact. Moxley shit on it once the cameras went off.
Yeah,
that was nice, but it's fucking crazy. Like, can't blow up a ring.
That's a tough one, man.
You can't.
Like,
Don't say you will. Like, you didn't have to announce you were going to have an exploding ring match.
I mean, it's...
Or time it so that the fucking... Do it like how The Rock and Mankind do it, where they were, like, in the arena by themselves and had a fucking match.
Oh, like halftime heat, when they did halftime heat.
CGI this bitch. Fucking talk about how it's too dangerous to have an audience in the thing and make a whole gimmick out of it. And before the ring blows, and then the next week show the ring blowing and whatever. Like, it's a TV show. Make a fucking TV show out of it.
No, you're right. I think they could have produced it better. They could have produced it better, and it just came off very hokey, man. And that was like the beginning, I think, of a lot of their issues, and like just things not working out in their favor. But at the end of the day, I think the biggest problem is just, the guy who's booking it, man. The guy who's fucking booking it. You can't do anything if you don't got a guy who knows what he's doing. And I'm sure he means well, but you should have learned from somebody in the business before you did it. I hear you, man.
He gets PTSD over the exploding ring match.
Yeah, he remembers it. Oh, there he is. We got some cameos tonight, man.
I'm right here, Goose. All right, let me.
All right, man.
I'll get back on with you in a minute.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, man. Later. All right, man. We're still on here on the live stream. Got a little bit of news to drop on you. This is in regards to Sasha Banks. So obviously it's being reported that Sasha Banks is signing with AEW. There was a period in time where people thought that Sasha was going to end up going to WWE. If she was going to come back, she was probably going to come back at the Royal Rumble, and she was probably going to help Bayley with the damage control angle. But as per Billy Body today, he reported, and this is Dirty Sheets. This is the most reliable guy out there, man. Billy Body is definitely the most reliable guy out there. You want to get your news, your information, that's the guy to go to. A lot of people out there, they might give misinformation. Here's the thing that I think fans need to understand before we get into this. Fans need to understand the fact that these big companies, WWE specifically, they're not going to give you everything. You know what I mean? They're not going to tell all these dirt sheet guys everything. They're going to give them little breadcrumbs, or they're going to give them red herrings, but they're not going to give them exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? Because that kills the product in the long run. Why are you going to give away the end of a movie to the fucking audience? That makes no sense. So I think that WWE does this and puts this misinformation out there, but you always got to think like where the money's at. And you always got to think what's going to attract the most people and what's going to really, sell out buildings. Like at the end of the day, that's really what it's about. Selling out buildings, generating interest, driving up numbers, making money for everybody. I mean, this is really the most successful period of WWE's history financially. Like it's pretty crazy to say. So, when a lot of these dirt sheet guys like SRS, like Meltzer, all these guys, like they put stuff out, sometimes it's not accurate. And they don't really come out and say, hey, we messed up. We made a mistake. We reported the wrong thing. It was this, but it turned into that. No, they don't really do any of that stuff. And I think that that's a little unfair to the people that pay to use their paywall, because everybody works hard. You're spending your hard-earned money to subscribe to these guys, sites and, on their paywall and stuff like that. At least have just, a little bit of decency to just tell your people, hey, man, I fucked up. I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? People could say a lot of things about Billy Body. You might not agree with his views. You might not agree with the way he is, but the dude delivers the wrestling news really, really well, and he's consistently accurate. And if he messes up, he admits it, So there's something to that. But as per Billy Body and what he was reporting, WWE did make an offer to Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, and TKO didn't think that she really brought enough to the table in terms of, moving merch, getting big numbers on television, on social media and stuff like that, and not really deemed as a game changer. So because of that, they didn't really want to match AEW's offer, and they didn't really feel like she was worth the kind of money that she felt that she wanted. Realistically, she hasn't really drawn very much in Japan. She hasn't drawn much working with New Japan, even in the States and stuff like that. So I don't know if she's going to be somebody that's going to get AEW back to 1 million viewers consistently. I don't know if she's going to be somebody that's going to turn the tide for them. I think that she'll bring some viewers along with her, but at the end of the day, I just think that the situation is too dire over there for them to really do anything to fix it. So, she'll come in, they'll do something with her and Tony Storm, she'll work the Joshis. They do have that Dynamite that's going to be at the TD Garden, I believe on March 13th in Boston. So you got to think that's the place they're going to debut her. And you got to think that that's going to be a good move and another talent for Tony to work with. But do I think that it's going to get them over the 1 million mark? No, I don't. I think rating-wise, no, it's not going to happen. And I don't think that she's going to be enough of an impact signing to really do anything to help AEW's business right now. So, that's that. As far as Mercedes Moné is concerned, Sasha Banks, she will be going to AEW. More than likely, she's going to be debuting on March 13th at the TD Garden. Mercedes Moné fans out there, look out for that in the future. But yeah, it's this has kind of been like a little bootleg pirate episode here, working the march tonight. So I'd also like to talk about another thing here. I'd like to talk about this Rock and Cody situation as well. So everybody's obviously been checking out the stuff that's been going on since Friday. Everybody's been seeing a lot of the blowback, on social media from the fans, particularly from the wrestling fans, the tried and true hardcore wrestling fans. They want to see Cody Rhodes finish the story. They don't want The Rock to come in. They don't want The Rock to take Cody Rhodes' spot, right? And I can understand the passion. I can understand the frustration. I get it, because people are invested in Cody Rhodes. People are invested in what's going on. People want to see him finish the story, right? But on the same token, you have the opportunity to bring in The Rock, okay? And for those of you maybe who might not be old enough to remember, or maybe you weren't around during the Monday Night Wars, whatever the case might be, The Rock at one point was one of the best, if not the best talker in the business, okay? He was a generational talker for the Attitude Era. Him, Steve Austin, Vince McMahon, those guys at one point really carried WWF. And, The Rock is a guy who cut his teeth like everybody else, was a phenomenal worker in the ring, again, an amazing talker, and you have the opportunity to bring The Rock back, to have him work for Roman Reigns, to have him do big numbers, okay? And you got to take advantage of this now, because Cody Rhodes is still young. Cody Rhodes can still go. You could still put the title on him, okay? He's not going to stop being a hot babyface any day now. That's not going to disappear whatsoever, okay? He's moving merch like crazy. As of this week, he's got, I believe, one shirt, but it's the men's, the women's, and the children's version of that one shirt in the top 3 in merchandise sold on WWE Shop. So think about that. Think about that. The fact that this guy's moving merch and the fans are behind him more, and he's even more of a sympathetic baby face. So for me, I think it's a no-brainer. You bring The Rock in, you have him do his thing. It doesn't have to be for the title. He can take on him to be the tribal chief. He could take the necklace from him. He could take, Jimmy and Solo from him. He could do all that stuff. That would make for interesting TV. You could do a title match down the line. Excuse me, where Roman beats Rocky to retain the title. There's 1,000,001 different outcomes to this situation. But I think at the end of the day, if you're the WWE, if you're any wrestling promoter, if you're any wrestling company, if you have the opportunity to bring The Rock for one fucking match or for anything at all, you bring him in. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there that feel like his shtick is stale. You know, he's kind of living off the old 90s glory, whatever the case might be. I think there could be some truth to that. I think that maybe we do need to see a little something different from The Rock besides, The Rock doing the hits every time he goes out there. Maybe he needs to spice it up a little bit. It's been reported that he's working with Brian Gerwitz. He's a part of his creative team, and Brian Gerwitz was a really instrumental guy during the Attitude Era, and particularly with The Rock. So, I mean, maybe he can do something, a little bit of a fresher take of what Rock does well, because Rock is a phenomenal talker. But, we do need to kind of see maybe something a little fresher, a little newer from on the microphone. But again, I think that you have the opportunity to bring him in. You have him work Roman. Cody can wait, man. Cody can wait. You can keep that story going. You can do that story when you want. You bring in a big name like that. Not only is it good to have a big name like The Rock, a legend like The Rock, but now based on the way the more hardcore vocal fan base, part of the fan base is reacting to The Rock, I think this really creates for a very interesting situation. And I think that Rock could be viewed as a heel. Rock could become a heel. It's pretty similar to the Daniel Bryan situation if you think about it, except this time The Rock is playing the role of Batista. So it's kind of something like that I think the fans are kind of rallying behind that. And it is reported, as per Billy Body and the Dirty Sheets, that Ari Emanuel is the guy that is pushing for The Rock to be in the main event. And Ari Emanuel is the guy that is pushing for this matchup to happen now. Triple H does not want to do that. Triple H wants to go the course where Cody Rhodes takes on Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes loses to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And then on the third attempt, which would probably be either at SummerSlam 2025 or WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes would then defeat Roman Reigns for the title. So, I mean, that is the plan that was initially reported as per Billy Body as to what they wanted to do. But the opportunity to have The Rock in there and Ari Emanuel wanting to inject fresh ideas into WWE and how they operate, Ari Emanuel feels to some extent that wrestling fans need to get over their old way of thinking as far as storytelling, as far as the presentation of professional wrestling. They view The Rock coming in to join WrestleMania, to be on the WrestleMania card, as like Conor McGregor coming back to fight in the UFC, or Mike Tyson getting in the ring and boxing again. That's the way Ari Emanuel sees it. And that's where a lot of the division lies amongst the hierarchy at TKO. So I think that we're still looking at a situation where Rocky is going to take on Roman. Whether it's for the necklace or not remains to be seen. I know that there is talk that Rocky has not committed to jobbing to Roman. That's part of what was reported, where he's not really committed to jobbing to Roman. So that's kind of an interesting little twist there, because you got to think, like, how are they going to have Roman lose and not lose the title? And I feel like the necklace and being the tribal chief and being the head of the table, I feel like that kind of lends itself to Rocky being able to work him and beat him and maybe get it to 2 matches if possible. And then, also kind of ties in with Cody's promo where he said he wants to take everything away from Roman. So, but I'll tell you this much, regardless of all of that, regardless of how much I've just hypothesized myself, the bottom line is that everybody's going to be watching Monday Night Raw. Everybody's going to be watching SmackDown. They got a lot of buzz. They got something interesting going on here that fans are going to want to tune into. And I'd be looking at some of those numbers, in the next couple of weeks and see how this is going to attract fans. So I think it's a win-win across the board for WWE. I know that there's a lot of fans out there that are invested in Cody Rhodes, and I think Cody Rhodes is phenomenal. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I think he's the guy in WWE. He's the heir apparent to John Cena, and I think that he'll get his due. But I mean, a lot of Cody's stories about overcoming the odds, man, and resiliency. And I think that what they have planned is going to lend itself to that. And I think at the end of the day, I think whether Ari Emanuel wants to change ideas in WWE and amongst WWE fans, I think he's going to look and see what's happening. And I think that ultimately Paul Levesque and the brain trust at WWE, as far as the wrestling side is concerned, are ultimately going to have their say. So a lot of interesting stuff to see happening. Oh, we got Jay back in the chat. Yeah, I definitely think Roman is going to beat Hogan's record, and could Cody unify the titles? That's a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out. Seth at Mania, Roman at SummerSlam, maybe. Yeah, I see. That's another thing too. I think Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are going to end up having a match at some point. I think that that's something too, because for all you fans out there, Roman's never beaten Seth, so that's another interesting little thread that they can go back to at some point down the line. So definitely a lot of interesting possibilities there, but don't freak out, folks. Enjoy the gimmick, enjoy the show, watch it, have fun, because they're telling their stories, and ultimately it's going to create for something interesting. They've been great thus far. Let's get Jay back in the chat here. Let's see. Throw him a little invite there. See if he accepts. But yeah, I just ultimately think that this is just great for wrestling. This is great for Cody. This is great for Rocky. It's great for everyone. So stay tuned, man. Stay tuned, because this is certainly a great time for the business, and this is the high point for WWE and for the season. So I do not know if I will be around another 5 minutes or so. I have to kind of hit the road myself here and make some phone calls, but I will certainly be in touch, sir. But thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to everybody who interacted. Shout out to Rocky. Shout out to WTF Productions. Shout out to Jay, the man with the golden hands, the Golden Mason himself, my brother from another in the Child Actors. Check out the Child Actors, folks. And yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for hanging out, and keep on watching wrestling, man. Keep on interacting, keep on having fun, and hopefully this won't be the last time we do another one of these lives on here. So anyways, I am Patty Reekin, and every week, whether it's on Instagram, on StreamYard, in your mom's living room, it doesn't matter. We are working the marks. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good night.
Famcast Media.